Hello everyone, welcome to Wilson's Crypto channel. Here's our weekly Web3 news delivery since 2025 November 28. Okay, let's go to the section 1. It's about market overview, price action, and market context. First, Bitcoin. As of November 26, 2025, trade is around 85,000 to 92,000. Let's see the K line. As you can see, recently, intra swing in the week were between mid 80,000 to the high 90,000s, reflecting consolidating under the pressure. About Verizon, currently is going about 2,900 to 3,000, holding near support around 2.9 thousand US dollar. Solana, trading in a very bold range, recently around 130 to 140 US dollar, showing evaluative volatility relative to the BTC and ETH. Because the price difference, the Solana is winning a very huge price range from 300 US dollar to 140. So the total crypto market capitalization has shrunk relative to recent highs, as many major coins have corrected sharply, reflecting reduced overall valuation and risk-off mood. Let's see from another perspective about the technical outlook and MACD 7-day line. For BTCs, recent daily close shows modest around rebound. I was giving November 25th. There's a small rebound over here. But momentum remains weak. Technical reports warn that despite short-term bounce, the broader trending remains bearish until price holds above key support, like 88,000 to 90,000. So from our perspective, it still remains observation if you want to go into the BTC market. Because the market is bearish, and we still recommend to hold your money and go to the BTC market later. For Verizon, the price oscillating near support. Moving average shows flattening. Near term is trending indecisively. If market pressure returns, ETH may retest lower support zone. Therefore, Verizon is also being highly valuated. We still think that the bearish market ETH still have some lower range to go. So for my personal opinion, we suggest that if you are holding your money into the market, you can do it at 2,500 or 2,300. We can still wait for that moment. And for Solana, high beta behavior, larger intraday swings, and main bands wider, good for trader willing to take risk, but must manage volatility carefully. So therefore, the high volatility evaluate make it very high risky. It drops like from 250 to 130 in about 10 days. It's about 100% drop, so it's high risky. But still, you have a chance for the Solana. If you're holding money, maybe you can go that. Okay, how about the funds flow and on-chain whale activities? Here's a summary of the market and the on-chain. Over the past week, the crypto market experienced significant volatility. Altcoins, like Solana, faced sharp corrections, while the major assets, like the BTCs and Ethereum, continue to serve as value anchors. They are dropped, but were in a very limited way. On-chain analytics and market reports indicates that this week was among the most active weeks for whales in 2025 so far, with a surge in large transfer, wallet balance changes, and exchange liquidity movements. Hedge funds and institutional players, including the miners and holding forces in entities, continue to maintain or adjust their crypto exposures, with some opting to sell, while others closing to lock positions to remain on the sidelines. So most of the whales they are still remain silent, but the on-chain assets like the BTC and ETH is moving out, but not in a very quick way, in a very slow way. It all shows and indicates a bearish market is coming, but it does not mean that BTC and ETH will suffer a significant drop. Maybe we're holding a perspective that they will drop 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 2 months. But it will not happen in a very black swan way. First off, the BTC whale activity and their exchange flows. It surged in a large transfer. The on-chain monitoring shows that over 102,000 BTC transfers, existing 100,000 US dollar, and about 29,000 transfers over 1 million were recorded this week. This is representing one of the highest level of activity in 2025. Such frequent large transfers indicates that market participants, like the institutions and high net worth individuals, are reconfiguring their holdings. They are adjusting, either withdrawing from exchanges to cold wallets or moving towards positions in preparation for future sales. Some they are moving their positions, and their large movement representing the money and the coins are moving out from the CEX. How about for the long-term holders and whale traders? Recent on-chain reports shows that wallet holding BTC for more than 5 years continue to increase in numbers, suggesting that long-term whales are holding steady and not participating in recent panic sellings. It's easy to understand. For 5 years ago, the BTC price is only like 400 to 2,000 US dollars. So even if it dropped like 90%, they are still in earning positions. For this, they are not sensitive to the price. If they're 80,000 or is 100,000, it's making no difference to them. And in contrast, selling activity is concentrated among mid-cycle holders. Assets that have been in the market for 6 to 12 months, but are not long-term holders. That means the buyers and the holders who recently entered the market with the price range among 7,000 70,000 to like 120,000. These are their entity positions. They are now moving out quickly because they are very price sensitive and they are dropping right now. How about the price and market behavior? BTF briefly dropped below 90,000 US dollars, hitting a low around 81,000 last week. Breaking key support levels triggered mass liquidations, particularly among highly leveraged long positions, amplifying selling pressure. Some institutions and long-term holders took advantage of its sell-off to buy the dip, indicating that these whales prefer accumulating rather than panic selling. Just as I said above, that is, they are always accumulating their leverage. And the BTC key observations. Short-term market volatility remain high, and potential selling pressure persists. However, if long-term whales continue to hold, it could provide a foundation for medium to long-term support. The surge in large transfer and liquidity makes the market sentiments more sensitive. Positive macro policy developments could trigger the next wave of inflows. The market is still waiting for new players to come inside the market. The Eurasian about their wealth, fund flows, and their exchange activity. Recent on-chain report shows the address potentially linked to a top-tier venture capitals institutions like Fabric Capital transfer 10,400 Eurasian to Binance, or say approximately 30 million US dollars. Such inflows are typically seen as preparatory moves to the trading, selling, staking, or arbitrage. Another group, known as the Seven Siblings, has cumulatively purchased over 44,000 Eurasian since November 4th, at an average cost of 3,477 US dollar. This group is believed to represent mid to large institutions or pooled funds and remains in steady accumulation mode. Additionally, large holders who previously borrowed and shorted Eurasian has reserved positions, buying back around 16,000 Eurasian is around 53.9 million US dollars, indicating confidence in Eurasian's mid to long term prospects. How about ETF market flows and funding rates? On November 20th, US sports ETH ETFs records a net outflow of 261.6 million US dollars, with all Republic ETFs reporting net outflows of the day. Analysts attribute this to global macroeconomic and liquidity conditions. Meanwhile, on both centralized exchange and decentralized exchanges, ETH funding rates have remained negative, signaling overall bearish sentiments or caution longs, with short arbitrage positions in dominating. Price and technical context. ETH recently dropped by approximately 3.3%, break a key support level around 3,331 US dollars, rising concerns about support strength. However, for long-term or institutional holders, this pullback has been seen as a buy the dip opportunity, with many whales and funds increasing positions, reflecting confidence in ETH's long-term value and ecosystem potential. ETH key observations. Although short-term selling pressures arises from ETFs outflows and weak funding rates. Whales, fund accumulating, and institutional long-term perspectives suggest a solid foundations for Erasmus mid to a long-term outlook. Key risks, including macroeconomic conditions, capital outflows, and market sentiment volatility. If macro and liquidity conditions improve and on-chain whales resume concentrated buying, it could also trigger a support and a rebound. So the Erasmus still have some chance, and we will show you some news about Erasmus in our later chapter. Let's go see the macro environment, the risk sentiment, gold and precious metals, US equities and policies. First of all, let's go to the rate and policy expectations. As of now, market remains nervous. Recent weak macro data and uncertain policies outlook have increased volatility. Some expect rate cuts. Others worry about inflation. This has created swings in risk assets, including crypto and precious metals. US equities and risk sentiments. United States equity futures have shown choppy performance. Investors' risk-off and risk-on sentiments shifts spill over in cryptos, in risk-on windows. Altcoins see bounce, but risk-off leads to a sharper drawdowns. Gold and precious metal. With macro uncertainty and rate expectations fluctuation, gold and precious metals regaining some strength as safe haven assets. The dynamic competes with crypto for risk capital. Sometimes, funds flow into gold instead of high-risk crypto, pressure on crypto liquidity. Risk controls and exchange margin update. Several exchanges recently adjust margin, leverage, and risk parameters for perpetual futures, making derivatives trading more cautious. Let's go to the crypto news this week. Market insight. It comes from Jack Yi, founder of Liquidity Capital. In recent days, Web5 have surged approximately 50% despite border market headwinds. Key drives including strong fundamentals in the USD1 stablecoin sector, signaling confidence in its long-term growth potential. Active buybacks and reinvestments by the Wi-Fi team, providing support for token values. Rebound in border crypto market and US equities, which has lifted the sentiments. On Eurasian ETH, data shows significantly short positions from multiple platforms and institutional players. Check-in notes that Erasmus is likely to navigate through the most challenging part of November, with a potential short squeeze in the near term. Compared to 4 years ago, the current market environment, characteristic by stablecoins, ETFs, decentralized asset trading, and favorable regulatory policies, is significantly more supportive. Under these conditions, ETH remains marginally undervalued, presenting potential upside for investors who position themselves strategically. As for his opinion, at Verizon still have some potential and very high space to going up. With the better policies, more trading volume, and relative low pressure positions. Verizon Outlook by Tom Lee, Chairman and CEO of BitMine. On the Coin Bureau broadcast, Tom Lee projected that Verizon could briefly drop to around $2,500 in short terms due to liquidation pressures. However, he emphasized that this would likely represent a market bottom, after which ETH could enter a super cycle, potentially rising 3 to 4 terms to reach $7,000 to $9,000 by the January of 2026. Lee highlighted that the currently price around 2,800 is near the potential low, with downside risk limited to 5 to 7%, while upside potential remains substantial. He arbitrates this bearish outlook to strong institutional demand, including products like the BlackRock Verizon ETF and Verizon's technological advantages. His opinion is rather different from the Jack E, but is more bold. Um, he suggests that Verizon will go up to 7,000, which is like 3 times announced values. It's possible, but by January 2026, it's only 2 months ago, bro. It's very hard to accomplish. It's my personal opinion. But still, everybody is looking up for the Verizon, as the BTC is going weak and the altcoins have very poor performance. As the anchor of the crypto market, Verizon has been put more responsibility and more hope in the market. According to a post on X, formerly Twitter's, by Strategy earlier this morning, if Bitcoin's price fall to our average cost of 74,000 US dollars, we still hold assets equivalent to the 5.9 times our convertible debt. What we call the Bitcoin debt rating. If Bitcoin drops future to 25,000 US dollars, its ratio could still be 2.2 times. According to Foresight News, US listed company Reliance Global Group, their Nasdaq is called Rally, announced that it has been completing a strategic adjustment of its digital asset treasury. The company have designed Zcash as a reserve crypto assets within his future digital asset treasury. Reliance Global stated that it sold its previously held DAT assets and reallocated the proceeds into Zcash, although the exact amount has not been disclosed. Zcash has a very high raise in the recent 2 months, like 500%. It's a very potential project. According to the crowdfund insiders report by Foresight News, Grab, which is app, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Singapore-based stablecoin issued Strategies as. The collaboration aims to explore integrating a Web3-enabled wallet into the Grab app and to create a stablecoin-based clearing and settlement layer that connect GrabPay merchants with StrategyX partner wallets. Grab's already tested stablecoins payment channels through its merchant network. The MOU with StrategyX indicates that Grab is currently investigating the feasibility of embedding stablecoin settlements directly into the consumer wallet, with potential plans to expand beyond Singapore. According to WRAL News, the Russian Ministry of Finance is actively considering significant simplifying access requirements for digital assets investors. The proposed change are expected to the border participant in Russia's experiment cryptocurrency legal framework, short term by ERLR, by lowering the strict super qualified investor threshold, which currently requires substantial assets or income. Example giving an investment of 100 million rubles or annual income of 50 million rubles. If we implement it, more Russian citizens would be able to legally enter the crypto market, expanding the pool of eligible investors. If you are looking for Europe market, maybe Russia will be the next. The perpetual contract DEX aggregator VOI published its tokenomic model. Total supply is 1 billion tokens. Their airdrop and community sale is 10.53%. Community development and marketing, including Season 2 airdrop, is 27.82%. Community contributes 70%. Private sale and strategic investment 13.65%. Project fundings 31%. Previously, in August 24, VUI received investment from EasyLife, so the amount was not disclosed. Let's see some trading and investment ideas and our new project and watch list. First, let's say some recommended pairs and strategy. This is only observational ideas, but not financial advice. Please be advised. First off is Solana. Solana is currently trading in a middle range zone. If the price drop to the 100 to 120 US dollar range, it could be a good area to begin accumulating gradually. Second is ZZ, as the above news indicate that many new public listed companies are making more positions into the ZECs. Also, ZEC have surged 300% over the past months. It still holds significantly upside potentials. How about new and noteworthy products and projects? First, the Monad, short-term estimate MOM. This project is listed on Bitgate, Upbit, Bybit, Gate, Coinbase, and KuCoin. The project overview. Monad is building a high-performance Layer 1 blockchain for the next generation of decentralized applications. Its mission is to accelerate the disruptive power of decentralizing by constructing a blockchain 100% to 1000 faster than its closest competitors. The network aims to alleviate current blockchain bottlenecks, enabling supporting for more complex applications and broader adoptions across the ecosystems. Sparkle is listed on Binance Alpha. It's noted not on Binance board, but Binance Alpha. Gate, Bitmart. Project overview. Sparkle is building the world's first AI Disneyland across platform ecosystems, where users create and interact with personalized AI characters that live, play, and generate value across social platforms and Web3 environments. The last one is Bob. Bob is listed on Coinbase, KuCoin, and Gate.io. The project overview is Bob is building the gateway to Bitcoin DeFi, unlocking real utility for the world's most important assets. By fusing Bitcoin's unmatched security and Ethereum's versatility, Bob created the premier destination for Bitcoin liquidity applications and institutions. Bob's hybrid chain unique combining Zk proofs and BTC staking to create native bridges to both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bob's multi-chain gateway lets users swap Bitcoin into any assets or deposit directly into DeFi across 11 plus chains, powered by BTC intents. So here's the three projects as being new and noteworthy: the Monad, Sparkle, and Bob. If you're interested, you can find their listed CEX, and you can go there to trade them. Thank you for watching. Here's all the news and be noted in this week about the crypto industry. If you're interested in TraderX, you can go register through AscendantX by using our exclusive link. After doing that, you can get a $5 airdrop. Please note the news and any messages back in the Telegram group. Thank you. This is Wilson. Goodbye.